Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on another episode of the Life Unscripted right here. We help you become a student for life beyond academic section for optimum success. And of course, is the third day of this particular series in 2025. And we have the intention to help you go back to the beginning because, according to one of my mentors, he will say, that your definition would definitely affect your application. And so we are going back to the beginning of what it is, what the problem is actually. Because until you know what the problem is, you will struggle on how to solve it. And so today, in Life Unscripted, we are going to focus on a foundational course of study, not course of study, but course of study. And so, if it's your first time on my channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell to get a notification when the next content drops. And if it's your first time on Facebook, go ahead and click on the follow button because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. And I'm going to share with you why in this series. All right. Amazing. So, one of the foundational themes that has really dealt with us, particularly Africans. I'm using Africans as a case of study because it's a part of the world that I have experience about. All right. And so basically, what our problem basically is that we don't know things for ourselves. Most of the times why the space is so clustered is because the moment you hear a thing, you don't even do a study, you don't even research on it, you don't even find out what is this thing really, and then you run out on the online space to start to teach. That's why we have a lot of coaches who are not facilitators. That's why we have a lot of teachers who are scammers. And that's why when you graduate you say that school is scam, because those who taught you are the ones that scammed you. All right. So we are going ahead to the beginning so that you understand what things are truly, so you do not repeat your mistake. And then the new year and 2025 is not going to get better if you don't go back to the foundation of these things. So it's time for you to understand what the problem is so that you know how best to solve it. So we are going to in that effect, I'm going to explain the basic things about these particular words that you have been misplacing that have made you come to a notion to say that school is calm, because it is actually, whenever you make that statement, it shows the level of your mindset, it shows the level of your interpretation about life, it shows your level of ignorance as well. All right. And so remember, ignorance is not an insult, ignorance is a state of mind. And that is why in the word of God, God will always say that my people perish because they are ignorant. My people perish because they don't know. So that state of mind is what keeps them perishing. But you are refreshed when you go for knowledge. And that is why we are doing live unscripted to be able to help you. And if you know someone who needs to be here, tag them in the comment section, or you copy the link and share, because the envy is less when everyone is succeeding. Now, going back to the beginning, understanding that today we go to church because our pastor said that that is what it is. We do things because other persons are doing. We say things because we heard someone else say that. And that is why we bring out to the world shallow things more than it is about the deep things that we are called to do, because we are called for dominion. And it is the reason we are struggling to survive, because we don't know the foundation of these things. That's why even in your hometown, one of the things your parents encourage you is to come back home during Christmas, during New Year, to understand the history and the foundation of the place you are coming from, so you know what to work on, looking at that to be able to make a difference. All right. So, based on that, let's go back to the beginning. Life unscripted is that becoming a student for life over just academic session so that you can achieve optimum success. But I want you to understand the definition of all of this. I'm going to start with academic. Now, what truly is academic? Right? Academic is from a Latin word academia, right? And it simply means a pursuit of knowledge, research, education, or scholarship. But the problem with people is that they see academic, most people see academic as only because it has dimensions of meaning. But this is the basic meaning: pursuit of knowledge, pursuit of research, pursuit of education, pursuit of scholarship. That's what it is. But people always see it as only a member of a school, member of a program, member of a college, member of a university. And that is why that's why you stereotype yourself as whatever that you learn is going to be stereotyped to that university, to that college that you went to, and you think that period of time is the only time that you have to take your life seriously. So when you graduate, you don't engage towards the attitude or the habit of study because you think it only ends in that your college, right? So academic session, now what is session? Session is a meeting, is where you have a gathering. It can also mean a period of time for a specific activity, a period of time for a specific, you devoting a particular time for a specific purpose. Do you understand? Now, why do you do that? In the pursuit of your knowledge, the session does not end when you graduate. That's the problem people are having. They don't know that they need to be students for life and not just for that academic session, because you think that academic session is only bent on when you are in the college, when you are in the university. There are different dimensions of education. We have the informal, we have the non-formal. But people focus on only the formal education and miss out on actually learning about how life works and keep struggling in life. So understanding the basic, you can go ahead and do your research. Go back to the very beginning. Understand words for yourself. Understand things for yourself so that whenever you come out, you don't generalize things. It's very shallow when you are generic with your thoughts. So until you go back to understand things for yourself, you can actually make a difference. So you're not coming based on societal opinion. You're not influenced by what other people are saying. You are coming from a point of conviction. And that can only be done when you begin to learn things and know things for yourself. How many of you have your parents told you, I got first position, but they never show you their report cards? These are the things we are talking about. And we don't question them because we are not ready to get into deep study and search and know things for ourselves. The moment they say it, we carry it on ahead and do a lot of things. Tomorrow you do the same and it becomes a program. Right? And so that is not what the kind of difference you want to make. That is not the kind of thing you want to continue. That's not the kind of program that really makes a difference. You have to be true. You don't have to lie about anything, because that is why they only teach you how to succeed rather than teaching you how to fail. So when you come in and you begin to face challenges, you are more like a stranger to all of these things. So I've been able to define academic session for you. You can go ahead and do your research, check the etymology of words and understand it for yourself. It is going to make a lot of difference, and you will see what a lot of people call it that it is not. And you have been carrying the message all around, because it is better to be uninformed than to be misinformed, because it takes a longer period of time to unlearn than to learn. That's why children learn faster than adults. Of course, I won't say that much. So, what is a school? Now, let's go back, because yesterday's series I was able to talk about this thing. Now, what is a school? A school, from the Greek word is scholar, even from the Latin word, even when it got to the 14th century, it's still scholar, right? That's the meaning. That's the basic thing, right? And so, what does it entail? Firstly, it was initially seen as a spare time, as a leisure where individuals gather to be able to learn something, to be able to have intellectual conversation and engage in cultural activities. That's why in village, everything is done in the village square. So that period of time is a school. Sometimes a school can be people who gather to do a research or to provide a particular theory or thought. That is why in psychology, in philosophy, even in education, you will see people of a particular school of thought that came up with something because they were having intellectual conversations. They were engaging some activities and having experience. And in that particular gathering, they call it a school that came up with a thought that this thing and this thing happened at this particular period of time. That's why even in education, you have the idealistic type is a school of thought. You have the realistic type is a school of thought. There is essentialism, there is different things. And these things forms a school of thought, right? So your concept of a school is that four walls, which is totally wrong. And that is why you say school is scam. School is not scam. And I'm going to let you know towards the course of this series that these things are the foundational courses that we have believed and over time is working against us without our consent. And we need to actually put an end to this by going back to the foundation, because once the foundation is shaken, the building will not last. So let's start from the very beginning to understand that school was once a leisure time, spare time. People gather to actually have intellectual conversation before it now moved to an institution It's an institution that is dedicated to education. So it doesn't have to happen in the university. All these people you see engaging personal development and all of that, those things are school systems. They are all school systems. So because you saw school from that dimension, that is why you are stereotyped. That's why you are struggling to succeed. That's why you think that you can only position and take your life seriously only when you are in the university. And then when you graduate, you expect things to just walk around you because you do not focus on the structure the curriculum was built for. And so another thing is, what is now education? Education is to lead forth, is to bring out. It means it recognizes, education recognizes there is something inside of you. Although there are different school of thoughts in this education, but this is the basic meaning, is to bring forth, is to bring up, is to lead out. It's more like a guidance. So that home training you had is education. You don't have to go to university to be educated. That's why some people that did not even attend classes are even making it faster. Why? Because they are engaging every other dimension, or they are not stereotyped by what is happening in the classrooms. And so you need to understand that education is all about leading forth. Education, understand that there is something that God invested in you that needs to lead out. And so for every form that you engage it, right from your home, from your school, from your church, from whatever places that it is, it begins to develop. It begins to grow out and unravel that thing that is inside of you. That is education. So education happens in life. It doesn't end in your university. It doesn't end in your primary school. It doesn't end in all of those things. It doesn't end there. That is why you are struggling to read a book after you graduate. Because you think because it ends there, that is the only place that you have to read your books. And that is why your parents advise you to read your books without reading your environment. You really need to pay attention to the beginning. Of course, let me tell you, if you know the problem, you will definitely solve it. Most of us are carrying on these foundational courses without our consent. And I'm bringing to your consciousness all of these things so that you can be able to really make a difference. So when you are taking your child to school, everything has to end with me. That's my concept. Every foundational course of study has to end with me. And because I've come into this consciousness, I can't carry it over. And I am making conscious, deliberate efforts to actually not repeat that pattern, because it's not going to be easy. And that's why I want to help you, because I have my own piece of cake. And I'm coming fully in Life Unscripted to share my story. I will go more into details into other definition. And of course, this particular foundational course of study is going to have a part 2, a second part. And I want you to understand that this is the reason and the foundation that we are building confident global champions. They need to know the history of who they are and where they are coming from, and the essence of education upon their life to become who they are called to be, and be able to actually deal with the assignment in the realm of dominance, in the realm of dominion, rather than struggling to survive. So we need to start thriving. We need to start engaging prosperity. We need to start engaging the good things of life, because every other thing has been made available. The problem is that we don't have the habit. We have not developed the habit to actually study things and know things for ourselves, to build our convictions to make it work. And so that is why you need to subscribe to my channel and click on that notification button. And of course, if you want to have a personal conversation with me, of course, go ahead and click the link in the description of my channel if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and click on that link on my bio. Let's have that conversation and get this thing done, because that is why Confident Global Champion has come to give you a voice that you can seize your moment and build your dreams as well as your empire. And that is why we are conducting this series, to be able to help you. Let me know what you have found out based on what I have been able to share with you, and also what you are able to get from this series in the comment section. I would also want to hear from you, learn from you, and other things you want me to share pertaining this Life Unscripted series that we are embarking on, to help you live your best life ever, regardless of where you are, and know how best to use your intellectual powers to be able to activate the life that you ever desire. I still remain your friend and your best edupreneur, Chiamaka Linda Freshima. Until I come your way again in the next series of the Lives Unscripted, don't forget, it is time to live the life that you are proud of and not the one people recommend. Till then, subscribe today, hit the notification button, and on Facebook, follow for more. Bye for now.